Hi, guys, and a very good morning. The topic today we're going to cover is from code to cure. In tech, if an app crashes, users get annoyed. In healthcare, if an algorithm crashes or fails, people die. That's why health data science is regulated. Here we're taking an example of the Wild West and the air traffic control. Okay, let's start off with the Wild West. We are calling the Wild West as the tech world, okay? So it moves fast and break things. Bugs in tech world are inconvenience, right? Failure leads to user frustration. But it is still curable. You can still do something about it. But if we talk about the air traffic control, which we're taking as healthcare, zero tolerance for failure. Systems must be predictable, auditable, and explainable because one mistake, real human harm, and you cannot bring a human life back, right? So, in health standards are not bureaucracy, they are the safety rails. We will be talking about the global regulatory landscape. We have three main players, which are FDA, EMA, and WHO. FDA USA, it is an enforcer, it is safe and effective. EMA is basically a network. It says that does it work and respect privacy, and WHO, it is the guide. It sets ethical standards and guidelines for your global health equity. Is it ethical and fair worldwide? This is what WHO will be telling you. So basically, our FDA approves, our EMA harmonize, and WHO guides. Moving on to the next part, that is the data scientist perspective. FDA, if I talk about the FDA's mindset, we talk about it in a way that it is very strict. It is a centralized authority. It sets global benchmarks and especially important for AI and machine learning in healthcare. Software as a medical device, SAMD. If your algorithm diagnoses, predicts, or treats, the software itself becomes the medical device, obviously. So, if I take a simple example, that ML model detecting cancer from scans, medical devices, app predicting insulin dosage, that is another medical device. So, why accuracy alone is not enough? FDA asks that is it validated clinically? Can we audit it? And can we trace changes? Okay, so that is that. If I come to the next one, that would be your the black box solution, PCCP, predetermined chain control plan. How do we regulate a learning algorithm? You must define how your model will learn and what safeguards are in place before you release that model so there are no chances of a mistake. Then we'll be moving on to our MDR and GDPR. That is your EMA privacy meets efficiency. Okay, we have two major regulations here. Your MDR is your medical device regulation, and your GDPR we've learned about in the previous lectures too. MDR is your medical health apps, which are basically your class 2A, and they require formal review. And GDPR is working for the data minimization and strong privacy protection. So if I talk about the conflict here, there that is that our AI needs a lot of data. GDPR says collect as little as possible. So we're facing a conflict here. The EMA solution, we will be talking about that. We will be talking about WHO, our ethics and equity in AI, our algorithmic bias. An algorithm trained on data from Boston may fail in rural Pakistan because obviously that data belongs to the Boston, right? So WHO requires proof that training data represents the target population, the population we're talking about, the population we're working on, okay? So the new guidance in 2024 guidelines on large multi-models emphasize equity. You don't just clean data, you ensure it doesn't automate description. Okay? And then we have ALCOA, the holy grail of data integrity. That is your, it is basically like, we're talking about a checklist here. We are talking about that attributable, it should be that who created this data, can we trace it back to the source, legible, that can the data be read and understood years later, it should be that legible, contemporaneous of the data, was the data recorded at the exact time of the event or what, the originality, is this the first record or a copy, and then we talk about the accurateness of the data, is the data correct and verified, like is it complete, consistent, enduring, and available or not. Okay, the positive, the plus here means we're adding it, okay, right, so we're adding that complete and all that. If your data fails ALCOA plus, regulators won't trust your model, so your data must pass this ALCOA plus. We have a case study here, neuron scan AI life cycle. We're talking about a life cycle here. The first one is the develop. We train the ML model, we verify it, we verify it by the technical testings, and then we validate it, that does it helps the doctors clinically or not, or we're working in vain. And then comes the submit. We regulatory submission to the FDA 510K. Then we go to the monitoring part where post market surveillance, watch for the model drift, and we'll be saying that validation is not equals to the accuracy. Validation is basically that if your model is beneficial for the real clinic or not. All right, we'll move on to the real world evidence, RWE, the new gold standard. Regulators here now accept wearables, they accept EHRs, they insurance claims. Why do they do that? Because clinical trials are controlled, the real world is messy but honest. So if I talk about that, your job is to turn messy real world data into the regulatorily great evidence so that it's useful in the real clinics, right? Moving on to the future horizons we're having, they're inspiring, they're amazing. Let's talk about the GMLP and digital twins. So GMLP is in pharma, and ML is the pipelines, and we joint effort, but this is a joint effort by FDA, EMA, and UK for that. If we talk about the digital twins, we call it the stimulated patients. We test interventions before real humans faster, and it is a very safer innovations. Okay, so that reduces the risk and it accelerates our innovations. I hope this lecture is clear to you all, and you will be able to recall everything that we learned in this, like how data, health data science is different from the tech data science. Thank you so much.